You should see me raging over here. You should really see me raging over here. It's so, sometimes it gets so annoying. Ah, boy. It gets so annoying sometimes. It really does get annoying sometimes. Getting back into the mood of streaming. Getting back into the mood of streaming. I will not be pissed off. I will not be pissed off. Okay. It's sad. It always happens. And it's sad that it does happen. I don't know. So what happened? What happened actually? This is not a laugh of happiness, this is a laugh of I'm pissed off. But what happened, in case some of you are wondering, is that after the internet disconnected and I rebooted OBS like the second time, then my PC crashed. Like my PC froze. And I had to wait for it to come back. Wow, you guys are still here. Oh, damn. I really do appreciate that. Wow. All those of you at least who waited, I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Wow. But like, it's so annoying. There are days you have very nice streams. Everything goes the way you want. And there are days where these stuff happen. And I especially hate when it happens during tournament streams. Right? The biggest nuisance was the African Chess Games, because that one I was actually called in, so I was given a boot to do the coverage, and the same disconnections kept on happening, and it pisses me off. It really does piss me off. Okay, enough complaining. Enough complaining. So annoying. Like I wish I had that kind of certainty that what I'm doing is going to work. Like, as in, like, when I'm streaming, the stream is going to like go on well. But it's like every time I'm streaming, like even right now, my PC is lagging, right? Some when I'm streaming, I'm worried as to whether it's going to disconnect or not. I can never just stream, you know. I always have to be like, is everything okay? Am I disconnecting? Am I lagging? Am I okay? I don't know. There's two OBS open. I'm trying to close the other one. It's not. I don't know why it's not closing, and that's what's causing my PC to lag. You know, I want to close this other. This second OBS that's open is the reason why the thing keeps lagging. That's why I'm not doing much. I'm afraid if I click again, something might happen. That's why I'm trying to. Come on, just cancel. Or if I cancel this, it's going to cancel the whole OBS. It's going to be so funny. Oh boy. Oh, so you took the knights, okay. I want this thing to close. How do I know which is which, actually? You know what? I'll live with it. Because I won't know which is which. That means I can't just use the engine. But if I use the engine, this is gonna fix. Okay. So let's start from so actually the previous winner yesterday, he was having a good position, but eventually he drew it. He drew it. So yeah, that's why he's not on board one today. Sorry for the ranting. It's kind of annoying. It does annoy me when it happens. Okay, so we have a Sicilian. We have I think there's a Najdorf, right? Yeah. Oh boy. That is the Najdorf. Yeah, so if I remember that my Najdorf very well, the idea often is to go this way. You make castle queenside and then you go g4 h4 and attack your opponent on the king side, which is usually where your opponent wants to castle. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so black has chosen to counter in the center, which is also a very good thing. I often realize that when your opponent is attacking on one side of the board, you want to break in the center. There's this line in the London or in the Queen's Gambit. Hey Feda, how you doing? Yaparim, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. There's this line in the Queen's Gambit, like these, not Carlsbad pawn structure per se. In these lines that you get in the Queen's Gambit declined and in the London system, where you have this very straightforward attack on the Queen side. Oftentimes when my opponents try to counter me on the Queen side, or they try and do something on the King side, it doesn't work. Oftentimes those who break in the center are the ones who give me the most trouble. Can I show it here? Trying to explain this whole thing. This whole line, right? Oftentimes if my opponents try to like counter me on this side of the board, it doesn't work. And if they try to counter me, if they try to do their own attack here, it doesn't work. Those who normally do things that make this look like, whenever I lose this position, let me put it that way, whenever I lose this position, it's this move that often gets me. So I've kind of put it in my rule that when your opponent is attacking on one side of the board, the best way to counter is to counter in the center. That's kind of like a rule for me. I could be wrong, but it's what I've noticed. Let me just put it that way, so that it's not like I'm giving you guys a rule to follow. But that's generally what I see. What's my FIDE rating? 1667. Though it should be lower now. The tournament that I played in the nationals last year, and I played miserably compared to how I played 2 years ago. Last year was terrible, so I think it should be lower now. I should still be 1600, but it should be lower now, because I only beat on rated players, and I drew against rated players, and I drew and lost against rated players, so my rating should be lower. Yeah, so that's my FIDE rating. I should also mention I am not a consistent tournament player, so so I play 1 or 2 tournaments a year, so yeah, it can show a lot. Okay, I like White's position here. This is not normally the kind of position you see, but with how this position is going, I think White is completely better here, much better than Black, to be frank. Oh, you are not English. 1667. 1667. That's my FIDE right time. But it's 1800 on chess.com. No, 1700. Chess.com. 2000 on Lichess. Which is, I mean, not a shocker. This thing is something that often like freaks me out. So I always have this kind of like mentality of hide the king, you know. It's still not closed. It's the reason why everything is just lagging right now. Just close, for God's sake. If I open Tax Manager, I don't know which one I'll be closing. That's kind of like why I'm a little bit cautious about opening Tax Manager. Wait, what about? Nah, it doesn't work because of the knight. So maybe we want to play a4 and then maybe. How do we cause problems for our opponent here? Like, this move prevents your opponent from castling, but that's about it. I'm sorry. It doesn't prevent your opponent from castling. All it does is just weaken your opponent's structure, and that's about it. Flavio! Hey, how you doing? I'm doing well. I'm having some kind of fun. I've been seeing your streams. I just haven't been able to join. Sometimes I just kind of lurk, but I don't see anything, because sometimes I feel like if I speak, I have to be committed to stay for a very long time. But mostly I just lurk to see how things are going. Hope everything is well. I'm just streaming this tournament today. I do live streams at other times. Just H4 and be solid. Yes, that is the easiest way to go. H4 and be solid. Yeah. To be more solid is you can waste 2 moves, H4 and then king here, just to be more solid in a sense, right? But I don't think castling is a good idea. It's entirely a good idea, sorry. Castling is a good idea, but I don't think it's entirely a good idea for black, considering this incoming pressure. You would have to move this knight at some point, and that's where the problem comes in. But Flavio is the best dressed streamer. He does photography. If I spelled this correctly. I don't know how to do this. But, I mean, it's because of the photography that he does, I'm sure. But I call him the best dressed streamer. He's always dressing nice. I hope I've done this well. You quit chess? No! No! Why does that anime side of me come out? I've stopped watching anime, but yet it still keeps coming out of me. No, bro. Don't quit chess. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, boy. Yeah, so just h4 is fine. But why is he spending so much time on it? Okay, I think he's not just looking at h4. Well, there's no need to play h4 now. So you can play other moves, and I'm sure that's what he's considering. I've been looking at bishop here to try and get this knight out of there before h4. That we can go h4, h5, and then cause problems here should your opponent castle. You could also go the route where it's sort of like you make your opponent think you are not going to go for the queen side. Or no, you can't make your opponent think that. He will definitely think that, but you wait for your opponent to castle and then you go for the attack. Because if you try attacking now, he's more likely going to stay in the center, I think. Though the center is not safe. I don't think the center is safe. But these are things you can think about. Because I think this is so obvious. The reason why I personally might play this immediately is because I fear making this mistake at some point. I've made this mistake many times before. Yeah. Again, if the bishop takes now, it's not the problem. It's a future problem. I do some bullets or puzzles between edits sometimes just to stress you. I know, right? Like, you wonder, chess players, like, did I do it right? I think I didn't do the shout out correctly, right? I don't know if I did it correctly. I've forgotten how to do it. What am I to do? Maybe he's actually calculating queen a5, queen takes a5, knight takes a5. Or queen a5, your opponent is not going to take. Queen a5, your opponent is going to go this way. And that doesn't really help your case. Aha, yeah, it's showing now. Or you're saying that maybe after this and then queen a5. I don't think trading of the queens here is a good idea. You have a very good chance at giving an offensive position or playing an offensive and aggressive position. So you don't want to trade off the queens. When you are in an aggressive position, you don't want to trade off queens. Sorry, when you're in an aggressive position, you don't want to trade off pieces, especially the queen if you want. But when you're in a defensive position, you want to trade off pieces. When you are in a material advantage, you want to trade off pieces, but not all the time. There are certain positions where you trade down is actually worse for you. So it's actually a draw. So these are kind of like the rules of thumb. I have more material, I trade down. I have less material, I don't trade down. I'm attacking, I don't trade down. I'm in defense position, I'm defending, I trade down. These are some like things to know in chess, right? They are good rules of thumb to know in chess. So you play king b1. Yeah, this is something that is very annoying. I would always go for the safety first move, right? I'm not the kind of like I'm not an aggressive attacking player. So my mindset is this is something that's scary. I'll defend against it. It does bring about, okay, there's possibilities of this, but it's not that big of a move. No, not in this scenario. Okay, let me just put it this way. If I'm up in material in regards to minor and major pieces, with the pawns, you would have to have a significant number of pawns. Because if you've studied your king and pawn, rook and pawn end games, you realize that one pawn is more or less going to put you in a drawish position. Especially with the presence of rooks. If I'm correct, yeah. So when it's a pawn up, it's not so easy to get. some situations, I don't know all of them, so I can't say majority or minority, but in some situations, it's a good idea to trade down into a king and pawn endgame when you have a pawn up, but not in all situations. It's very tricky, you know. We have rules of thumb in chess, but it depends. It depends on the position. It's very dependent on the position, right? So people say knights are better than bishops in close position, but that doesn't mean in every close position you should trade knights for, like, doesn't mean that. I would play g6 here. I would definitely play g6 here. I would sacrifice the pawn here. I would sacrifice the pawn and play g6 here. Again, now that the king is not here, this is fine. And why do I want to play this move? I have lots of openings against my opponent, right? I can go this way and come in this way. I can place my bishop here, and if my opponent ever tries to castle, there's problems for him. So I would consider playing this move. Taking is also fine, but I think he wants to open things up. I don't think he wants to castle anymore. I think he's abandoning the whole castling idea here. But the fact that I can prevent my opponent from having a strong defensive position, and I having the aggressive position here, and a pawn up, like Encryption was saying, I am very much likely going to play pawn push here. I don't think it's the best move. Let's just see. Says, wow, Encryption, your move is the top move here. Queen a5. Again, this is white's strongest asset, so it could make sense why. This is a passed pawn, and it can be a defended passed pawn. To be honest, Queen a5 is not even on my mind. Like, I'm not thinking about it. So I think this may be one of those exceptional positions. Or could it? I don't get it. That's crazy. Yeah. I'm sure it's an endgame positional thing. Oh, my keyboard is. Did I press F? Yeah, sorry. I actually just want to see what's going to happen in these positions. We'll move on to other games, but I'm quite interested in seeing how White continues here. White is 400 points ahead of his opponent, so he might see it. For me, it looks kind of like risky to play this, because like takes, pawn takes, or even bishop takes, I think it's much better. Let's say bishop takes, knight takes. I don't know. I don't know. The engine is just loving this. I think it's because of this pawn. This pawn is too strong of an asset. Okay. Yeah, in this position, you can just trade down. Let's see what kind of player Mariano is. Often your choice of moves determines what kind of player you are. So you can see I'm always going for like safe moves. This move is yeah, you might be saying that by sacrificing a pawn here, it makes sense. It makes sense to do that. Oh wait, no, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I now see the problem. I'm sure everybody saw the issue and they're wondering why I'm talking like that. Yeah, I just realized it. Yeah. Queen takes just solves it. So it's not, you can't play it now, but it's a good idea that you can get. So you can't play it now. You can't play it now. You can't play it now. So I think at this point it's going to be this. Wait. Yeah, it could be this move. I'm the type of player to play g6. G takes h6 over g6, yeah. But if g6 was a possibility, I definitely would play it. That's my point. I just realized that it can't be played. I don't know why I wasn't seeing the line of the queen. Yeah. It still isn't canceling. That's So what do we just okay. You know, I don't know how to pronounce this name. Callistus. I don't know how to pronounce this name. I might be clipped for this, but because I'm like Gan, I read it like a Gan sort of. I always say it's, and it's a very stupid thing. I always call it Eyatonga. I don't know how to pronounce this name. I need to hear the pronunciation of some of these names. I'm serious. I don't know if Itogan. I don't know if that's it, or Itongan, or Ito. Like I don't know. But just for fun, I just call it Eyatonga for the fun of it, right? And that's a dumb way to call someone's name, right? Oh, wait, we got C4 English. Okay. Maybe I have to start learning English because I think it's an opening out like. I know. Again, this is one of those things. When you see this pawn structure, a very good idea is to play knight to a5, a4. And the idea is that the knight kind of controls this. So these are like rules of thumb. That's what I'm saying, but they don't always work. So normally when I see this kind of pawn structure, I know that this is a possible good idea. Even in this position, this move makes sense simply because your rook is attacking this. But it just simply makes it difficult for your opponent to develop. Or am I looking at it wrong? Yeah, it's like this, yeah. And it's in the Jobava, London. Let me see if I can remember the lines. Sorry, knight, bishop, here. Sorry, c4, here. As if your opponent plays this, that's the problem. No. Oh, how do you play this line again? No, it's for the life of me, I can't remember. I know it's c4. I know it's c4. Then you play this move. I think there's a6. Then knight jumps in here. Knight jumps in here. Knight jumps in here. e6 takes bishop here. I'm not playing the correct move order, but this is what I'm talking about. Let's just say bishop here. This is what I'm talking about. This. Don't you just hate it? But that's the whole idea I'm pointing out to you. Is this why it's good to understand like pawn structures? It helps you have an idea of planning. The reason I keep showing you what I mean is so that you see this whole understanding of chess position. So that's how I think the higher levels do see the position. You have this kind of transpositional understanding of ideas and possibilities. What you will notice is a key difference why the knight a5 is not such a good idea in this specific position is the present is it the lack of, yes, the lack of a pawn on d4. That's what actually makes the control. The pawn and the knight contribute to that whole defensive structure. So even though yes, we do he does play it, but what makes it, again, what makes it better or what makes it more of an agreeable move is this idea. Again, there are so many intricacies in this position that's not exactly the same, but that is it. That is how you see the position. You thought it was just because a3 was hanging. No. A3 rarely ever hangs, but this is mostly what you look at. This much. Again, I didn't play the proper move order in case maybe I missed something. I didn't play the proper move order. I was just trying to demonstrate something. Mostly when I'm trying to demonstrate something, I may not play them. I mean, I don't have the moves like in my head. I have the ideas in my head. I know that I'm aiming for something. And mostly my opponent plays something, I'm seeing it in that light. But if you're asking me to replay the position, it's not like that in my head. I can just make all these mistakes. But you can see that this is... I mean, even if you don't have an understanding of this whole thing, it's very obvious to make this move considering the fact that this is hanging, right? But it's more of a positional kind of thing. You want to prevent your opponent from gaining control. Okay. I don't know. I don't like too many ideas. You can't care about move order. You can't focus. Don't just hate that thing about chess. You know, my when stop lagging. When I was learning chess initially, what I was doing was I was wishing that I could find this one path, right? You should, like, if you tell me that trade knight for bishop, that should always be the rule, knight for bishop. That's kind of like how I wanted it. Linear thinking. I didn't know you have to know so many possibilities, you know? It sometimes gets so annoying. There's so many options you can think about. Chess was so easy when I didn't know anything. I would just make a move when I was done. Oh boy. But yeah, I was saying I like the position for black. I don't know why. And the weird thing about chess is that it's addictive. That's like one thing I've never understood, Flavio. That chess is addictive. Like, with how complex and annoying the game is, people just get... I might have to stop playing the music since this thing is not canceling. That's what's making the whole thing. I don't want to... Oh boy. It's like I'm running 2 streams concurrently, like 2 streaming apps concurrently, and I've tried canceling it. I don't know what's going on. And that's it. We still have a lot to learn as chess players. For all you know, Magnus Carlsen thinks like the engines, and that's why he's slightly better than most chess players. There was a point in time when I was learning chess, I saw everything like chess. I'd be standing next to him, I'd be like, oh, well, if I was a bishop, I could capture him. Oh, if I was a knight, I could capture him. Oh, if I was, I could capture her. I just kept on seeing the whole world as a chessboard. Unfortunately, my floor is also checkered. Not checkered, but it's squares. So I keep seeing chess. I get where you're coming from. So because I am like chess is a zero sum game, right? You cause your opponent to lose. So because it's not like some games, I guess, like RPGs where it's okay, not all RPGs, but because it's like you actually have to go through that whole process of outsmarting your opponent and all that kind of stuff, you feel more validated of your win than to place it on something like lag or whatever, lag or something. I mean, I was also interested in fighting games when I started seeing the intricacies of fighting games. You know, you play in neutral, what do you call it? Breaking guards, reading your opponents. I started liking fighting games, but the reason why I can't play fighting games is because of combos. I'm not interested in learning combos. Quarter circle, up, down, heavy punch, light punch, low punch, full circle. I'm not interested in all that. I just want to mash some keys. I'm not interested in quarter circle, half circle, frame data, startup frames, active frames, exhaust frames. I'm not interested in that. Come on. Okay, I might have to end up the music. I don't know. The freezes. I'm not making any mouse moves because of the freezing. That's why I'm doing. What will actually help me is if I just end off the stream and then reboot everything. That's what will actually help me. I don't know. But we've ended it off like 3 times. Let me end off the music, unfortunately. Does it help? won't you cancel? That's what I don't understand. Why don't you just close? I'm risking it. I'm risking to guess the correct one. I'm risking it. I'm risking it. No, I needed a certain amount, and unfortunately I lost. Actually, I lost my job. It sounds awkward because I'm self-employed. I lost my customers, so it took me a while to get more clients. Yeah. So now I'm back on saving for it again. I was hoping to get it like last year, but unfortunately, it didn't happen the way I wanted. Give me a second. We'll get back to the stream. Don't worry. I just want to fix this whole thing. Which one is it? Oh, please, please, please not be the wrong one. Are we fine? I guessed it correctly. I guessed it correctly. Oh my god. They both had the same name. They both had the same name. And I was like, God help me. What a risk. What a risk. Oh, that was crazy. Hey, thanks, Flavia. I appreciate it. Yeah, if I get close, I'll let you know. Maybe if I'm like 80% and I'll just like. Okay. So we can get back. That was so annoying. I feel so good now. I now understand how the bomb diffusers feel. I now understand how they feel. What? I just didn't want to click the wrong one. Oh. Anyways, so we don't have any movement from here for a while. Let's go for Olapite Oluwadrotimi versus Aikoje. Oh, don't worry. I'm not going to put my burdens on you. That's not what I'm trying to say. That's not what I'm trying to say. I mean, if I can get it myself, there's no need to even message you, right? I'm just saying it that I appreciate the help. So don't stress out. Don't stress out. Don't stress out at all. Don't stress out at all. Even I would need your service. Like if I could, maybe I'd even start like. There's so many things I want to do, but I just don't have the one I'm looking for is 15,000. It's but this PC is trash. No stress, just. What I'm looking for is 15,000. At least that would, because this PC is trash. I mean, in modern days, comparison is trash. 16GB RAM, 2.34 processor speed. I can't remember the other stuff. 15,000 is Ghana cedis. In dollars, how much is that? Give me a second. Boy. People came for a chess stream and here we are talking about other stuff. Why you guys like this type of conversation? The chess talk is too boring. But you know, if you do have a specific game you're interested in, I'm going through all the games right now. But if you have a game you're interested in, or a player you're interested in, I will jump to that as well. So don't be afraid to like request that. But if you want to play against me, that's a different day, not today. That's like $976. So you can just approximate it to $980 if that's the case. So we've looked at this one already. We've not looked at this one. Let's quickly. Wait, is it a London system? Knight. Okay, you could transpose D5, D4, Bishop F4. Aikoje, I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay. Subdog, you supply. Oh, thank you so much, Subdog. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean, he's hearing my flight and he's like, hey, let me just subscribe. I do appreciate that. I do really much appreciate that. Thank you so much. So much. So there's a landing system. So I know a lot of you are about to switch off the screen. A lot of you are about to switch off the screen. But this is my favorite opening. The landing system. It's the best opening in the world. I actually never thought about doing that. Okay, then I'll do that. I'll put like those goals or targets. Yeah, I'll put that up. Game 11 ended, if we don't mind. Okay, we can look at that. Subdog. Hey, thanks. Oh no, my London. Yeah. Hey, look. Oh, I wish you guys could see. Oh, how do I show you guys the full screen? No, I have another board that I could show. Let me just turn on another board. Maybe you guys will be able to see it if I show it. Do you guys see it? Do you guys see? I don't normally make these type of jokes, but guys, that was the agent's evaluation at the end of the game. Oh, that sucks. I try not to use bad words in this stream, but that's what the engine is telling his opponent. His opponent was you can understand it. That's just sad. Okay, let's look at this. We'll get back to the landing game. B4? Is that the grub or the whatchamacallit? Okay. I don't know anything about this opening. I'm just going to give my analysis based on my understanding of chess positions. Yeah, but from what it looks like, you want to prevent this move from happening. And unfortunately, it seems like White is trying to prevent e5 with pieces, which is not often a good idea. At some point, you have to give it up and then go d4, which is not often bad. Like sometimes you might think that if you block off the bishop, it's a bad idea. But if you play the Kolizuka Twat, which is like a landing variation like this, you do sometimes want to allow these sort of pawn blocks. And the thing is, you might say, oh, if my opponent takes, then maybe I should take my bishop or something. No, you actually want to keep the pawn in. Eventually it gets free, so you don't have to be so much like stuck to it. And I think he will give it up when his opponent plays rook to e8, if his opponent plays rook to e8. Okay, wait. 3 attackers, 2 defenders. That means that he can't play e5. So why didn't he stop it? I was thinking that the moment e5 was possible, he would stop it. Like, now e5 is possible, so I was expecting this. Huh. Yeah. Like, you generally don't want this. Oh, his opponent is also unrated. Maybe his opponent doesn't understand chess positions. Like, this is... Okay, let's just see if I'm correct. Yeah. In case you're wondering, it's saying plus 0.2, which is basically okay for black. Right? It's close to equality. When you're playing as black, you want to get to equality and then gain an advantage. And normally, white starts with like a small advantage like 0.5, 0.6, which is also like draw. It's not significant. But when you get close to that 0 mark, it means that black is making headway. So white is not having a good time. Yeah. Oh, so he tries to chip away at the center by playing c4. Oh, okay. So he does have a decent understanding of the positions. It would be toxic to say, you know, that's how sometimes I talk to my students. Like, I don't know a nice way to say it. Like, how was I going to say it? If you can give me a better way of saying it, I would say it. It's like, what do you say? You don't understand chess positions. I think that's the most, like, I don't know how to say it. Because chess positions are very complex. Like, I don't fully understand chess positions. I just have like a, let's say, what, 10, 15, 20% understanding of chess positions. I mean, I actually think that I understood chess positions until I kept on learning. And I'm like, I don't understand anything about chess positions. Right? But c4 is a very good understanding of chess positions, right? Mostly when your opponent has a very strong pawn presence in the center, you want to chip away with c5, right? So sometimes in these Scandinavian type positions, when your opponent goes, that's if you play queen d5, queen d8, not a queen a5 Scandinavian, right? Something like this. Sometimes your opponents go this way, and the way you want to stop it is to play c5, chipping away at the center. You attack the center with these types of moves. Free chess lessons here, guys. Free chess lessons here. I'm just giving basic information. Like, you'll be so sure. This is so basic information. You oh boy. But c4 makes perfect sense. So I don't fault him so much. Yeah. But then again, I still think that black is better. Black is making headway. Is it encryption? I was waiting for you to give me an answer, but you still haven't given me an answer. So there's no other way to say it than maybe you just don't understand chess positions. I'm sure like encryption has gone to what do you call it, ChatGPT. It's like, what is the nicest way to tell your opponent he doesn't understand chess positions? And ChatGPT is like, that is the best way. Oh, thank you guys. I love the support today. You guys are really helping me out today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, what? Nothing is free, really. It took you a while to think. It says maybe they don't understand this opening, or they don't understand a long-term play. Huh? I would have said that. The way I would have put, I think that's a much better way to do it. I would have said something like, maybe you can't see more than 3 moves into the future. And that's fine. I mean, I don't see the problem with it. We can't. Like, I would have said that, this is how sometimes I analyze my students' games. They make a move and I'm like, I like your move. Like, based on what we've learned, I understand your move. Or like, I like your move. But if you're able to see a little bit further, you would understand that this move is wrong. That's how sometimes I say it, right? I don't just get up and say your move is bad. I explain why you made that move in my perception. Like if I'm teaching a new player chess and I'm like, we want to work on hanging pieces. So anytime your piece is is attacked and it's hanged, flee. If I give you that kind of a rule, and you don't play the best move and instead you flee, I'll be like, I understand that and I'm okay with that because of what we've learned. But you can also think about it this way. You know, that's usually how I do it. I don't know if that's bad as well, but anyways, I agree with the encryption. Yeah, I also agree with the encryption. I think that's a better way of doing it. Yeah, but it took you a while. So imagine I'm being put on the spot here. I know, as a chess coach, you should have those lines in your pocket, right? You should have those lines in your pocket. Oh wow, and here I was saying that black, why doesn't understand chess positions. But anyways, b6 is considered bad. I don't understand why. If there's any reason I can see here, is because you kind of hang the knight, because now the knight is being held by a piece and not a pawn, which allows like stacking up and targeting on this file. You guys, yeah, I do. Though right now I'm getting into programming as well. I'm trying to diversify what I do. I'm trying to do more things to get more income. Boy. Yeah, now the queen can add. The queen can add up here. The queen can definitely add up here. I know this is a consideration, but I don't know if it works, right? Because yeah. I think that's the issue. Oh, you went queen a4. Okay, I understand queen a4. Queen a4 simply means that she doesn't want to be put in the pin. I can agree with that. But why would this be wrong? Says knight takes d4 is best. Oh, immediately putting pressure, piling up pressure. PP on the PP, put pressure on the pin piece. Okay. I don't want to overanalyze this position. And now he plays it, but it's not so good because your opponent can just save his position. Queen takes. Still problems here, right? Now the rook is coming in here. Bishop is in trouble. Knight is in trouble. No, bishop is in trouble. It's not in trouble. And now everything is fine. But we have a piece up. Bishop h2. Ah, yes. This is what happens when you don't calculate everything to the end. This is what you're talking about, yeah. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, so this is much more safe. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. He's looking at this whole idea. This is what I mean, right? So if you see it ahead of time, you realize that, oh, okay, this is the problem. So that's my student might do something like this, and they're like, oh, they're attacking this, and I'll be like, something like this. Oh, by the way, my favorite phrase, I made this rhyme. I don't know if I'm the one who made this rhyme, but it's mine. I'm patenting it. So I always say, when the rook is on the same file as the queen, regardless of how many pieces are in between, you want to let that queen flee. It's a very good thing to remember. Oh boy, all my students have to learn that. It's going to become the newest. You've heard PP on the PP. You're going to hear this for the rest of your life. Okay, so black is a piece up, and yeah, we just continue the position here. He wants to double. I don't know if that's what he wants to do. Okay, he successfully sacked the knight, and now he can get this move. Okay, he takes the pawn. The knight jumps away, but do I play pawn push or I just continue going for the attack? Nah, it doesn't work. The knight is defending the square. So he plays pawn push. Oh, that's not wrong. But takes doesn't work. So take the, he doesn't take. Okay. He slowly develops his position. It's amazing how do we want to ignore like pawn push? Nah, this is not real. Did this really happen over the board? Did this really happen over the board? Now, if this happened over the board, I can explain to you exactly how he felt when it happened. This is exactly how it happened. And look, over the board, nobody shows mercy. Do people show mercy? No, I don't think I've not met anybody who shows mercy. But over the board, nobody shows mercy. Now, if you've never played over the board, in tournament, there's a rule that says, no, I get the point, right? You're attacking this point. But there's a rule that's like touch and play. So the moment you hold a piece, you have to move that piece. I think that rule was changed or something like that. But so so this is basically what happens. I think the rule was changed. That like the point is, if I remember the old rule, it should be when you touch a piece and you move that piece, once your hand is off that piece, you've made, like, that means that you've made the move, right? So you can't take that move back. Right? I think that's how the old rule was. If that's still the rule, I don't know. What I think the rule change is if you move a piece and you take your hands off the piece, as long as you don't hit that the clock, the move is not registered. So you still have to move the piece. That it's still touch and play. That is, if you touch the rook, you still have to move the rook, right? But until you hit the clock, it's not a registered move. If you kind of get what I'm saying. I think the old rule was that once you leave the piece, you've made the move. You can't take it back. So what people would do is that when you make the move, then they just counter you. Like they don't allow you to take back the mistake, you know. So I'm sure he made the move like this. He took his hands off, and then he was like, "Oh shit." You know that kind of thing. You've made the move. You take your hands off the piece, and you're like, "Oh wait, I just made a mistake." I don't know, unless you play over the board, you don't get how funny it is. you realize the mistake once the move is made. I think it even happens online. You've calculated so well, you've looked at the position, then you make the move and you realize, oh wait, I just messed up. Oh boy, that is sad. That is actually sad. That is actually sad. Okay, so now we are done with this. We've done Oladapo, right? I think Balogun has played against Magnus Carlsen before. I'm not so sure. So we have another Sicilian, but this is the Dragon, I guess. If he plays G6, he doesn't play G6. So I don't know which variation this is. Sicilian has many variations. This looks like a Grand Prix attack, but not the same position. Exactly. You calculate like 15 lines and you forget you saw that move and you kind of forgot it. Sometimes even about move order, you forget the second move and you play another move and you realize, oh wait, this is bad. Okay, takes pawn bishop takes. Okay, so now we have this threat here. Of course he's going to block it with either the queen is a bad idea, castles, and now he plays f5. Knight moves, you don't take immediately. h4, h5. These are classic ideas you play in these types of positions. Bishop to d3. If white could get that opportunity, I'm sure he would do this and this. And look, again, I'm ignoring the rook, right? Something like this, I wouldn't be bothered. I would be fine allowing my opponent to take this pawn, right? Because once you go back, it's so much. There's too much happening to you. I mean, you can say this, but then this, like, there's so much happening to you. I don't think you'd like it, right? So the queen runs away. Okay, so the point of this move is to play this move. If you don't take, I'm sure he's going to take and then play e5. He doesn't take, but that allows e5. He doesn't play e5. Why wouldn't he lock the position here? Because you are opening more lines. And that's what I don't like about this idea. Again, I'm 1600, but I don't know. I don't like the idea of opening these lines. I mean, for black. I mean, I thought black would just lock the whole position. But then again, if you lock the position, it makes it easier to attack, right? And now the rook comes in. Bishop moves. Rook comes in. King goes out. This is a problem. Oladapo is in a lot of problems. And watch the engine disagree with me as I turn on the engine. Here, I think white is really winning. White is completely winning. Of course, it takes some technique. Black has some counter-attacking chances. I see all that. But I think that white has a very strong case. But watch the engine disagree with me as I turn on the engine. Plus 0.8. Can you imagine that? I'm giving like +2 in my head. But it's like, yeah, nothing. Again, if you put those other factors I mentioned, you would see that this is... I would disagree because I would think that maybe you could say e5 stalls your defense. I don't know, but like, what are you going to do here? Check doesn't work. You can't come in this way. Maybe you'd have to go in this way, and we still try this whole idea with like this, and all that stuff. I don't know if it works. Again, I don't know if it works. I can't really. Okay, you can't even play pawn push because of the bishop. But certain ideas like that is what I'm thinking about. But maybe, I mean, because the position is closed now, you have a hook pawn and you can create more problems for your pawn. I think that's where the real issue is. So maybe if E5 is, I don't think it's that good of a move, but I think it's something that could have at least been considered. So there's more game to be played. Wait, so okay, wait, I thought I'd read the last move. Okay, so after the king moved, we had rook g3. He's trying to double. Then the rook comes in. There are some lines where you would sacrifice, but anyways. The king hides. Why does the king hide? Okay, the pressure coming from the king side. The rook comes in to attack the center. Is there a way we can deflect some of the defenders? I don't know. H5 is what I'm looking at. Okay, he decides to hold this position. Okay. Bishop to H5 removes one defender. That's the rook, but it's not that strong of a move. He's going to repeat the position, isn't he? Yeah, he repeats it. He repeats the position here. I don't know why he hasn't played this move yet. Originally, when the knight was here, I felt that was the reason he wasn't playing it. Like early on, sorry. I thought that was the reason he wasn't playing it, but I don't know. Okay. I can't pronounce these names. Onwa. Okay. Without thinking much, I think white is winning. I think the obvious move all of us are thinking about is this. But does it really work? You're putting yourself in a pin type of position. Oh, we even have knight takes here. Hey, Anon. Hi. Love the commentary on all the events. Thank you so much. I do try. Yeah, so white is completely winning. I mean it just shows the kind of like player you are. Is it wrong to go for that? Definitely not. But I mean, sometimes too, it may not be good to do that, or the game may take longer to do that. Who knows, right? So it just depends. Like, what kind of player are you? I am just like you. I would trade down, unless of course I see a very strong attack, which would end the game much quicker than like trading down. But I'm like you in the sense that I would immediately trade down. It's who you are. Okay. There are so many sacrifices we are seeing these days. Of course, if you take you're just messing up, right? You're just messing up. So I'm looking queen, I'm looking here, but it says to start with rook e4, which is also fine. Okay, I mean, the games that seem to be like Kennedy is winning. No. Okay, no, Kennedy is playing my opening. Kennedy win. If Kennedy is playing my opening, he should win. But Kennedy, if you ever watch this stream, play the London system, you win the tournament. Trust me. Did Bernard win? Yes, Bernard had the easiest game. I texted him. I texted him and he said something very funny, which I won't say. So don't worry. I'm keeping you guys thinking that I'll say it, but I won't say it. I think it's even lurking on the stream. Did I already cover game 6? Yeah, we looked at it, right? You said game 11. I don't think we looked at game 6. We looked at game 11 is what you mentioned, if I recall. Wait. Oh wait, no, it's ended. Okay, we didn't see the end. No, this is not. Is this the game? No, that game there was a trade. Okay, it has a similar position to the other one. Yeah, it has a similar position, but we've not looked at this game. That means I passed it. Because of it had been done. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for bringing me back. Yeah, I didn't look at it. Yeah, English, similar position, but different way it went through. So I skipped it because I saw that there was a result. So I just was like, let's look at the games that are live. Okay. But thank you for bringing me back. So it seems what I'm seeing from this kind of opening is that you want to leave this open. I do recall there was this opening called the Miran or the anti-Miran. Those days when I used to study chess using chess, what's it called? Chess Master Grandmaster Edition, right? Josh Waitzkin spoke about this anti-Miran type position where you kind of like keep the bishop open, something along those lines. So I know that there are styles like this, but from my understanding, like with the openings I play and my understanding of chess positions, this is something you don't want to allow, which is some way. Anyways, but the Miran doesn't look like this. I'm just speaking about something that it does. Yeah. Okay, so forces the bishop back, then he takes. Trade of the rooks. This is, I mean, white is controlling, so if you don't want white to continue controlling, you have to bring the rook. I don't get why this is a blunder, but I do get the fact that you've helped your opponent open up the position, which you would have eventually done. I mean, I don't see it to be too bad, but let's see. Knight jumps in here, which was obvious. Bishop goes back, trying to avoid the threat here, but it happens anyways. So now do we just go like knight here? And then if our opponent trades off, we trade with the queen. Because knight here, you're targeting this square. And you might get that with, for example, after knight here, you can go pawn takes. And after pawn takes, you kind of target this square. Kind of. Of course, pawn push is also going to happen. These two bishops are going to become very deadly, in my opinion. But the engine here says white is better. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Yeah. So I mean, this is why I kept on thinking that black is better. But the moment I see this move, I'm like, oh, yeah, I get it. I get it. Look, this was not on my radar. That's why, in all my calculations, I was thinking that black is just doing fine. Then I see this move and I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. Well, there are so many things hanging in the balance in the first place. That's one of the first things I'm seeing. So right, for example, if king takes, now you're in a pin position. First off, there are, in the future, I guess there are some ideas of these types of things happening, but the point for now is takes is a possibility. Takes. Why? You can't take it. And there are funny ideas, right? So many funny ideas, right? And the king can't leave the defense of this guy to say that I want to bring my rook here. That's how sad the position is, right? So you take with the king and basically this was going to happen. You lose a piece and your king is unsafe. It's sad. It's sad. Look, the way I saw the position is how Arnold saw the position. He was playing the game, he was like, no, I think I'm winning, right? I'm going to play pawn takes, I'm going to bring my knight in, I'm going to play pawn push, my bishop is going to be open, this guy's going to be open, I'm going to jump my knight in. I'm sure that's what he was thinking. Then all of a sudden his opponent played knight takes g7. It's like, yeah. At this point, like, you just have to give it to your opponent. Like, you just have to respect your opponent. Like, these positions, you see it and you're like, yeah, I get it. I see it. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever played like over the board before. If you've ever seen your opponent not like that, like after you've done a killer move that ends them immediately, you know that, yeah, you've got it. Like, you just make the move where you just make the move, you take your bottle of water, you start drinking. Your opponent looks at the board for some time, then he just starts doing this. Yeah. I get it. What's my rating? Hey, Dak from Prayers, welcome. How you doing? What's my FIDE rating? I'm 1667. It should be lower now. Maybe 1640 something. But 1667, yeah. So his opponent takes with the king and he takes with the queen immediately, which is not what I was capturing. Yeah, but that's basically the end of it. You are down a piece. So if you've been listening throughout the lesson, what did I say? If you are up material, trade down. And that's what we are seeing here. This is what we call practical chess, right? You just trade down. And this is why you trade down. You are up a minor piece or a major piece. And that major piece is just going to help you win the game. Granted, it's a bishop, but the bishop is going to do work, right? So, for example, one of the easy things you can do is you can go pawn push. So your opponent is going to go like, it's your move. So pawn push, your opponent goes whatever, pawn push again. If your opponent does this, you just have your bishop coming in here. And now your king is just going to waltz in, win this guy, win these two guys if he wants to, and then he's going to promote. It's over. That's just the easy way of going through it, right? So let's go through the actual game and see what happens. So after all this, let's see. Where am I from? From Ghana. So here. So I was actually playing the lines of the game. Right? You just like, fine. Do like who cares? I'm just going to take all this. Move 30. Why did Mark play bishop takes f4? Here. Okay, I skimmed through this. That's actually very interesting. Why would he play that? But I don't see any problem with this. Or after this move, then he has a problem. No, you can just run back. I have no idea why he played that. Because I mean, if there's anything you're afraid of, it would be this, right? I don't get why he did that. Let's see if that's... Yeah. Actually, the engine likes that move. Rather than king g4. Is there some checkmating idea I'm not seeing? No, everything I'm saying is what the engine is recommending right now. And it still says bishop takes f4. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Yeah, I really don't get it myself. Promotes variation, make me laugh. Who's my favorite player in this tourney? I don't have a favorite player actually in this tourney. I don't have one. I have players I like, but I don't have a favorite. If there's a chess player that I like in Ghana, I've never actually thought about that. Like, who's my favorite chess player in Ghana? I don't have one actually. I can give you a list of players I like. I like Clinton. I like what's his name? Daniel Frimpong-Smart. You realize I'm going to mention most of my friends, but I like Clinton. I like Daniel Frimpong-Smart. There's this new guy who beats me. I also like his style of play as well. Then I like the Richardsons. I like the Richardsons. Mainly the brother, the eldest brother. I like Bernard. Oh, I think I found my favorite. Yeah, my favorite Ghanaian chess player would be Kwabena Idupuku. That's the former national champion. Yeah, I think it will be him. I find myself supporting him more when he plays than any other person. Yeah, I find myself supporting him more than any other person. If I'm going to mention my favorite, I'm just going to mention most of my friends. I don't think but if I'm talking about like who I really, really like, I guess I'll say it's Idupuku. Maybe because of, first of all, my relationship with him, but then I mean, I like his, I think I like his style of play as well. Looks like he was losing either ways for me, but I hold more draws down. I mean, maybe. I mean, if in that the whole position, what was I even thinking? There was something I was thinking about. I think he could have just continued and kept the rook on the board, or tried to keep the rook on the board or something. But the pawns would have still made a difference. Yeah, so if I think about it, it would be Edu Poku. Did I ever play? Do I play in Ghana? Yeah, that's the like. I only play 2 tournaments a year, which is why like I'm still not good. Like my approach to chess, I like no matter how serious I try to be with, I can only be serious with chess for a very short while, right? Because my interest is not really in. I lost that fire. Like there was a time I really like I was training almost like 10, 12 hours a day on chess, solving like anything I'm telling you right now. It's not something I learned recently. It's something I've learned over the years, right? There's not really much new information coming in for me. And I'm not really, maybe if I learned something recently, it's the Carlsbad pawn structure. Other than that, I've been trying to learn endgames and pawn structures. So I don't really like play that much. If I was more serious, I'd be playing in more tournaments. So I do play only 2 tournaments a year, the President's Cup and the National Championship. So last year I played, it's on my channel. If I'm talking a little bit too much here, you can check if you are on the YouTube, so you can basically easily check it. I do play in the nationals every year. I do play in the nationals, unless something comes up this year that I can't play. But I do play in the nationals. You can check out my games. Last year was nonsensical. I prefer how I played last 2 years to how I played last year. Okay, Diarra Shrike or Sirike. Diarra or Diarra Sirike. That sounds like a woman's name, but this is the guy section. This is the open section. Let's see. Just looking without thinking, I think white is winning. Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. C4, E5. Why are we getting these Englishes or in Catalan structures? Is it wait? Okay. I was thinking that it's a style of a specific group of people, right? Like maybe the Nigerians are the ones who like playing like that. Yeah, from Slovenia. It's nearly impossible to qualify for championships. Okay, why do you mean? Okay, then in that case, if I'm understanding what you are saying, then I also haven't qualified for the championship before, because we played 2 phases. The first phase is the qualifiers phase, right? I always play in phase 1, but I never do phase 2. I've never qualified for phase 2. You need to get at least 6 points. My closest was 5.5 or 5, which was last year. Last year I had 5 or 5.5, which like I was 1 point away from qualifying. I even think if I got 6 points, I wouldn't have qualified, because most of the people who were ahead of me, or those people, or people who would have had the same mark as me, beat an opponent I lost to, and with the tie breaks, we're using head to head, and that was going to be the problem. Those type of things. For me, I improve in chess very slowly, like me practicing 1 hour. I don't even do that. That's what I'm saying, right? If I was doing that, I'll be a much better player, right? You can improve in chess by playing every day, but when you get to a certain level in chess, you can't just improve by playing every day and analyzing on your own. You need a certain kind of information, like some of the things I'm saying, like seeing certain things in positions and being able to address such positions. And some of those things, if you are not told, you never understand them, right? You need more information than that. I know you can create the argument that, oh, but before those rules existed, how did they know? Like that kind of thing. So you can figure it out on your own. I believe you can, but that'll take you a longer time than if you just learn it, right? Like one of the things you learn when you start like reaching 1500, 1600 is that you learn what makes up a chess position. Now, I've not mastered those things, and I say it a lot. If you've never heard it before, I say it a lot. Like there are certain elements that make up a chess position, and your understanding of these elements will help you know what to do in a chess position. And it's space, time, piece quality, piece quantity, king safety. These are the 5 things that make up a chess position. And your understanding of these things can really, like, it's very broad. Like king safety is very broad. Okay, not so broad. Piece quantity is broad. Piece quality is broad. Especially piece quality is broad. Time is another annoying one. Time is very annoying, and I can demonstrate time. Maybe after this, I'll try and demonstrate time. And then space. So for example, here, let's try and apply that. Yeah, but it will still take some time. No, the engine doesn't show. The engine doesn't show ideas. Sometimes when you analyze with the engine, you barely understand what the engine is saying. So let's look at this game, for example. If you were, I may get it wrong because, like I said, I've not fully mastered it. So let's look at this position and let's analyze using those 5 things. So 1, space. Who has more space? White has more space. So in regards to space, white is winning. So if we take off every other thing, white should be better because white has the spatial advantage. Number 2, piece quantity. When we look at the board, obviously we know the piece quantity is the same. Next is piece quality. Now, what do you mean by piece quality? Based on the position, some pieces are better than others. I'm not speaking fast. This is defined as a closed position. A closed position is seen when the pawns are locked in the center. So you can see the pawns are locked here in the center, right? So this is considered a closed position. And in closed positions, knights are better than bishops. So if somebody had more knights than his opponent, then that player has the better piece quality, right? So if we looked at this position and then that's a piece quantity. No, I think it's piece activity. No, quality. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, piece quantity. Yeah. So if let's say we looked at this position and when we looked at the material, black had 2 bishops and then white had 2 knights. Forget about the other stuff. We would say that black is better because black has the better pieces, because knights do well in these type of positions. They can maneuver well, right? But they both have the same pieces. Now, when we look at that, we look at the activity of the pieces, and it seems that white has more active pieces than black. It seems, I'll get to it and I'll read the comments, but it seems like white has more activity than black. White pieces have more activities than black pieces, right? So white is winning in regards to space. White is winning in regards to piece quality, right? Then we look at time is dependent on how quickly your ideas are going to be pushed. I don't know what ideas they are going for. I can guess it, but I'll leave time out. Time could be a big issue, but I'll leave it out. And then we look at king safety. Both kings are safe. So when we cancel all those things out, white should be better. That's how you understand the chess position. So if I turn it on, white should be better, and we see +1, right? It's plus 1.5. So when you put all these factors together, then you know what is happening on the chess position. So as black, what do you realize? Okay, the problem is that my pieces are not active enough. So the aim is to activate your pieces. And now you have to ask, how do I activate my piece? Because I cannot win on space. How do I activate my pieces? Or how do I leave my opponent with worse pieces? That's what you kind of have to look at. So how do I trade my bishops for my opponent's knights so that I have the knight and my opponent has the bishops and I'll have a better position? Now, the problem with even this knight versus bishop thing is that majority of the time, positions end up being open. Majority of the time, in most chess games, pieces end up being, the position ends up being open, which is why people often say that the bishop is 3.5. You get it? Because majority of the time, you are going to get an open position. So if you make this decision that you want to trade off your bishops for the knights, and then the position opens up, you have a problem. Right? I'm really summarizing it. Like, these are things you really have to study, and you wouldn't know them easily. Like, how would you understand if the engine starts saying something like this? Like, how would you understand? You know, again, I'm not like encryption. I'm not saying that you are wrong. I'm saying that you could figure it out, but it would take you a longer time to figure out. And I think it is really going to make you feel frustrated. So now let's read what you guys were saying. So he said, interesting, you do it in huge bursts instead, something like that. There are times I get very motivated to play chess. And in those times, I do learn. I think I have improved, but I could have been much better than this. I sincerely feel I could be much better than this. He says, I mean, if there's 2 phases, 16 players, 10 GMs, 1... I get you. It's not like that for me. For me, I can qualify if I put in a little bit of effort. And I don't think I'm understating that. I don't think I'm overestimating myself. If I did put in effort, I'll be a much far better chess player than I am. I should be, if I was putting in the work, again, I should be like 2,000. I might overestimate. Again, in Ghana, we don't have 2,000 rated players, So it's very difficult to reach 2000. But you get what I'm trying to. I mean, I'll be performing at a 2000 rated level. Like maybe on chess.com, I'll be 2000. If you kind of understand what I'm saying. My FIDE rating may not be 2000, but I would be performing at a 2000 rated level. Is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I think the engine. I've already addressed that. So if all you do is okay, I've read that one. I also played in the qualifiers. You have to play second or third in your region. Your closest was 7. That's not bad. I think for us, it's first to fifth. So we have a bigger chance. I do feel like White's knight has more possible squares than Black's, but that might also be possible. Yeah. So that's basically what I mean. So it's so much like understanding chess positions takes a while, and that's what really makes or breaks players. That's what shows the difference with players. Your understanding of what's going on. So that was enough ranting. We've come to this point. So yeah, so F4 is basically what I was thinking about. There's a 2700 player in a former candidate tournament. I mean, you are going to have it difficult. I'm not. I'm not going to have it difficult because we have one IM and the rest are candidate masters, and I think one FIDE master, and they are already in the top 5, right? The top 5 don't play in phase 1. They are just waiting in phase 2. So all you are doing is playing with others, and from there, most of the players are like 8. No, most of the players are like 1400, 1600, and I'm 1600. So you understand, right? I believe I perform at an 1800 level. But, well, whatever. Enough ranting. So you can see what he's doing here. So White, first of all, has upgraded this bishop. Black is trying to make this bishop better. But it seems... Okay, you can play on knight, but the knights were already good. We've already mentioned that. Taking with the pawn is... I don't agree with that move. You keep the position closed, which it was always going to be. I don't know what if he's trying to bring the bishop here. It's not a good square for the bishop. I don't think this is what you wanted to do. I think you would have wanted to go this way. Knight takes. And the point of knight takes is now you've opened up your bishop. If your opponent does take, now your rook comes in. And suddenly, what do we see? Black's position is becoming better. Can you come to Ghana and play in the nationals? You can't play in the nationals if you come to Ghana. I don't know about dual citizenship. I don't know if dual citizens can play. That I don't know. Yeah. Because I think it's a national champion. But I mean, if you want to come to Ghana and play in our tournaments, fine. I mean, that's fine. You could do decent in some of them. But don't underestimate our players. Like I said, because the highest rated player is 1900, a lot of players are underrated in Ghana. So sometimes we go to the Olympiad and you see 1600s beating 2000s. It's quite a common misconception. So don't assume. We do have strong players here. So this would have been, of course, your opponent would have to make that mistake of capturing. But this is a much better position for Black, if I'm right. It's not. I'm wrong. Here I was thinking I was standing. Oh, no. It's because the knight is hanging. Sorry. Yeah, it's because the knight is hanging. It's because the knight is hanging. I completely ignored that. Yeah. So this knight is defending this guy. So yeah, that's the best move. That is the best move. I messed up there. Sorry, guys. I wasn't looking at the position properly. Can I switch FIDE flag? I don't know how you do that, but you should be able to. You can't do that because, as we know, Ali Reza was he originally French? And then he switched to something else? I forgot. Yeah, I know you can switch flag, but I don't know how to do that. So sorry. My idea would have been correct if this wasn't the issue. My idea would have been fine if this was. So he made the best moves. I'm sorry for criticizing him. He made the best move. Oh boy, he made the best move. I'm sorry. I wasn't analyzing the position. I was just looking at it like without like that. Okay, so this is very fine. This is all fine. But you can see White seems to be getting better in the position. Okay, very nice. Another problem here. So he's attacking on both sides of the board. Okay, now black is getting something. Black is also getting some play. But then after knight takes, we can place a knight here, and that's a problem for Black, right? This is very good for White. He doesn't go that way. Okay, he doesn't want his opponent to take and open up the position. But he still can take with it. What? Okay, that forces me to take this way, which I don't really want to. Or maybe I'd have to go this way, which I don't really want to. But I can play takes with check first. The king responds. Does this work? Guys, pawn takes, king takes. Bishop takes. Queen takes. Yeah, that would have been nice. Oh, so that's why he played. He plays takes, and the king runs back. We saw the reason why the king runs back. Rook takes check, takes. Now the knight jumps into that square. Takes, takes. He closed it instead of opening it. That's fine. Now the knight jumps in. We spoke about this square, but we can't get it now. But we do have good attack over this guy. So you might want to defend it this way, because if you go this way, okay. I mean, you put yourself in a pin, right? So he offers the trade. Oh, he gains the activity. Yeah, this is not looking good. Pawn push. I can take, right? So why is that good? Bishop comes in. Queen comes in. Knight jumps in. And yeah. It's interesting we improve in very different ways. I do think from my experience that many people underrate. No. There's something I've learned from the engine, which is H4, H5. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about since you use the engine a lot. H4, H5 is something I've learned from the engine. But the case I'm trying to make is that it's very difficult to understand the idea of the engine. Or maybe encryption. Like, are you like 2000? If you're like, I believe that the engine helps the top players more than it helps beginners, right? Because as a beginner, you don't really understand principles of chess. So if the engine is saying something, you will really struggle to understand why it's recommending what it's recommending. You may play it as a rule of thumb, but you may not understand why. And that's my case, right? So if you are like 2000, 2200, 2400, yeah. So I think that, yes, for you, the engine will help you a lot. But for someone who's like 900, 1000, 1400, the engines, this thing doesn't make much sense. That's what I'm trying to say. So I often don't recommend engine analysis for beginners, right? I give them a way of looking at it. I give them a way to use the engine, so it's not like they don't use it. But I don't make them overly dependent on engine moves. But the higher you go, because your understanding of chess has really grown, you can use the engine much more effectively. So I sound like I don't like the engine, but that's not what I'm trying to say. I think that the engine is a very good tool when you're at a stronger level, right? Okay, so Diarra loses this one. I mean, that was obvious from this point. Yeah, we saw that that's 3 versus 2, and we have 2 central pass pawns. Protected central pass pawn. That's just too much. We are doing more of a chess lesson than of a commentary. But I hope you guys are learning something. I mean, if you were trying to improve in chess and didn't understand the intricacies of chess improvement, this is maybe some of the things you should look at. Let me divert from that and focus more on the conversation, because many games have finished. Okay. This is likely to be a draw, but I think that black has a very good chance of creating problems. Nah, I think it will be a draw. I would give the edge to black, but I think that could be a draw. Let's see what the engine thinks. It gives the edge to black as well. There are some positions where I think that if certain moves are made by black, white can easily counter. But yeah. This outside pass pawn is very strong. There's a way to block this bishop. That's one of the things I'm talking about. Like, it's slow, but you can try this. Though, like, if you go in this way, your opponent can come in this way and try and target your pawn. So maybe you want to go about it like this, which is a lot of moves. So I don't know. It's quite dicey. We've seen Bernard's game. We've seen this game as well. Jeshron, let's see how Jeshron is doing. I forgot about Jeshron. Wow. Now, I think Jeshron is losing. Material is even, but I think, and Jeshron has the space, but I think Jeshron is losing. This is just me looking at it at a glance. But Jeshron's plan is probably to get into this square and target this. Okay, he also has a very nice idea of knight coming in here. Wait, now my mindset is changing. if we could push. Okay, so we can come in here. Like, this knight would really love to be in this square, putting pressure on these two guys. It can settle for this. No, I think that could also be a factor, but I mean, he has been playing very good chess, so I don't want to put him on the same level I used to see him. Like, he's 10 years old or say 11 years old, right? He's like 10 or 11, and I've played against him before, right? So the way I know him and the way he's playing now are two different people. Like, the way he's playing now, I think that he can beat me, right? So maybe, but I think that white has a harder time to defend. But my mind is changing because I realized that this knight has a potential here and this knight has a potential here. My issue is the fact that this king cannot really add to anything. It's just going to be a dance of the knights, which is where I think most of the game is going to be played. So let's say we come in here, check, king comes in here, knight jumps in here. I don't know. Let's see, maybe the angel will give it to white. This is too significant for me to ignore. It's too significant for me to ignore. Though, of course, I agree that the knight can get trapped. I don't know if you guys have solved that puzzle with the kings like this, and then you have to maneuver the knight to capture the pawn over here. I don't know if you've seen that puzzle before. It's a very complex one. But let's see. Okay. Small initiative to white. But it's still a 0.4. It's still a 0.4. So I don't know. When I looked at it at first, I felt like black has more of a potential. But seeing this, for me, is too significant to ignore. H6 seems hard to defend, yeah. Once you get this in, it's a problem. So looking at these two moves, if black is not able to make any significant progress in that time, I think that white is winning. I do think that white is winning. Black has more of an immediate threat. Yeah, but it's not long term, right? Aha, yes. I didn't finish reading your statement, then you said it. Yeah, black has more immediate threats, but also has more long-term weaknesses. Yes, true. Right? Because after the check and the progress of the knight, all black needs is 2 to 3 moves to cause problems. Granted, the king may not be able to hold these two guys for long, but if you can imagine some sort of position, this pawn is gone and we'll start trying to promote. So, I mean, he could win. But seriously, what happened to Jeshurun? Because he's not playing as it like he played in the did he qualify? Huh. Yeah, he's playing at a much different level. He's playing at a much different level. Like, I'm so impressed. Hi, Ananaya. I hope I got that correct. Ananaya. I just call you Aya just to save myself. Or Anna. Or Nana. Nana is a Ghanaian name, that's why. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. So I don't know. So this is the point of the kings are basically going to be useless here until there's a break that can be made. But all the pawn breaks don't seem to be good. Like if black wants to make a decent pawn break, he needs both knights on these two squares and needs to play this pawn push. But you can imagine, to get such a position, you're just going to waste your time, right? It will take too much time to build such a position. I'm waiting for a move. I want to just see the next move for. Okay, I think it's going to be obviously this. So let's go back. Let's go to other games and we'll come back and see what's going on. Adewole Adeyinka Samuel versus Etsy or Etsy Yalvi. Oh my goodness. How if I'm going to be doing these streams, I have to learn how to pronounce these names. I have to one day go for these tournaments. Okay. What's my chess level? Let me do something about it. The chat box looks awkward. It looks awkwardly small. Okay. This was your chess level. This is your sister's one. So FIDE, I'm 1667. It could be lower because I lost some games in the tournament in the nationals last year. Chess.com, I'm currently 1700, but my peak was 1889. That was just last year. My lead chess, I'm 2000 across board, I think, except Blitz. Yeah. Yeah, except bullets. Yeah, so that's mine. I'm 2000 across board except bullet. I don't have the. It's only my FIDE. I think I have a specific number, but the rest I don't really know. Let's go from beginning. F4. Somebody starts with F4. That's interesting. F4, knight F6. So much enterprise in chess. Well, I'm beginning to notice this is very common. Hey, Anna, thanks for the subscription. I really do appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. It's PM Chess. We mostly do coverage on Ghanaian and African chess tournaments, though I do struggle in the Africa side. Oh, nice. That's cool. That's cool. You're on your way to 1800, 1900. You are cool. You are on your way. Why the shift of the bishop there? I do get that this place is too stuck, but you can progress and break the pawn structure. Because this move seems slow. You can get your bishop there, but I don't see the point. You really like the active bishop? I mean, yeah, these are very like strong structure. These fianchetto bishops are quite good if used properly. I don't think they are always good, but anyways. But bishop to c8, I don't understand this move. It might be much higher than me, but I don't know. Oh wait, he resigns here. Why is it saying that he resigns? Why does he resign here? Yes, d4 is an output. You're correct. Yeah, d4 is an output square. But why did he resign? Maybe there's something wrong with the board, because this does not make any sense. I wouldn't resign here. Yeah, so if you look at the position, you're looking at advantage and disadvantage of the position, you could mention that, yeah, d4 is a very weak square, but you can't really put something there now. So maybe you'd want to like get like this in and try and find it a way to maneuver the knight there. But other than that, you can't take advantage of it. Yeah, I think there's a problem with the board, if I'm right. Semeko Lumen Paku. Why not resign move one? Yeah, right. Like, why would you do that? I don't get. First of all, I don't understand this move. But other than that, I don't know. Oh, could it have been a move to try and deal with this? Could be. But I don't see how that. Is that what he's like thinking? That this is a problem? Oh. It just doesn't make any sense to me why he would resign there. You know, encryption. I think when he looked at the position, he calculated 45 moves ahead and realized he was losing, so he just decided to resign. It could be a problem with the board, to be frank, so don't worry. And this is the last game, and then we'll look at some other games again. Yes, but again, I'm trying to make the argument. I'm trying to make the argument that you could get, maybe this is too slow, but you could do this. No, yeah, I completely agree with you guys that this is a block. But I was thinking that, wait, could it be this move? I don't know what move you're going to make here as white, but let's just do this for the sake of it. Is it that this? I still don't think this is good. I still don't think this is good. I still don't think this is good. My idea seems good. Hey, thanks. But I don't know. It seems complex. But yeah, E6 is okay-ish. Pawn break. Yeah, but I don't know with support. But I don't know if it's that it's too slow. Again, because I don't fully know the idea that white is going for. That's why I can't really tell. Like I can't really analyze whether this would be good or not. All I can do is guess with the engine, but I don't know. So that's what I was thinking that that's the idea you want to go for. So I don't know. I don't know why what this move is about. Okay, let's just bite the bullet and open the engine. Bro. Ah. Okay, how many of you think bishop to b8 is a good move? Like, how many of you think it's a good, like, legitimately? Before I say anything, how many of you think that bishop to b8 is a good move? Bishop to c8 is a good move? Because sincerely speaking, bishop to c8 is the engine's top move. The other one is to play b5. I can understand b5. It has a similar idea with this, in the sense that it weakens your opponent's hold, or maybe it even opens you up to attacking on the queen side. I get that. But you can see your opponent playing it. Okay. I wouldn't consider it. That's not true. I would consider it, but I wouldn't think my opponent would play it. Do I stream playing? Yeah, that's Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Today I'm just I'm covering this event. Whenever there's an African tournament that's being streamed live, is being played, I like to cover it because I don't think we get that much coverage, so I like to do that. Yes, definitely. There are a lot of good moves here. Again, I don't agree that it's good, but if I could see why you'd play it. Again, the main reason I can agree with it is this: like you are staring at a brick wall. But I don't know. I feel like there's future potential here. But what I see is that any attempt to try and break this allows your opponent to develop further into your position. Like it gives your opponent more of a spatial advantage. So I can agree that on the basis of trying to open up the bishop, it won't work. So rather than wasting time to open up the bishop, you just go to another square that's active, and maybe you can try and put pressure on your opponent's king side. I can get that, but I don't know. I'm refusing to accept it, you know. So I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, same time. Strangely, no, not same time. Sorry, I stream from 10 to 12. Mostly I stop around 11:30 because playing 2 hours of chess 2 hours of blitz chess continuously is quite tiring for me. But yeah. I forgot there was this interview that was done with chess players, and they were asked that, would you play 2 games of rapid, that's 30 plus 10 or something like that? I think that was the time control they gave, or 20 games of blitz, and they were all like they would play blitz. I don't remember. I have to go for that interview. Any idea why game 15 timed out? It could be one. It could be internet issues. 2, it could be that somebody stepped on the wire. And I mean, these are the problems that happened when I was playing last year with the DGT bots. It could be so many things. Maybe it's not good. Okay. But I mean, the engine just gives a 0 point plus 0, 0.0. And it's not a plus or minus. It's a dead drawn position when he plays bishop to c8. He was winning before he played that, but the engine recommends it. So I don't. That's another reason why I don't get it. He was at minus 0.3 before he played that, but the engine recommends it at the top. So again, like I said, it doesn't make any sense to me. There's something I don't understand, or there's something I'm not seeing. Yeah, so that's the reason. Encryption. It could be that power outage, disconnection of the internet, someone stepped on the wire, someone made an illegal